Hello, boys and ghouls, and welcome to a very special episode 30 of the Subway Rat Podcast. Today's guest is Sean Beard. But before I get into Sean Beard, here's my food for thought today. So yesterday, I finally received in the mail the new Teething / Nash Ghoul split 12-inch. But I received the test press. For those of you that don't know what a test press is, it's exactly what it sounds like. So the thing is, the guy that sent it to me has COVID. So should I open this package? As soon as I told Sarah, my girlfriend, she's like, yo, get that the fuck away from here. So I put it with the shoes, and it's been 24 hours, and I'm just reading on Google and the internet, asking friends what I should do, and I don't know what to do. I really want to hear these test presses. It's important I hear them, but it's also important I don't get the vid. Anyways, back to Sean Beard. I must say, this is one of the best conversations I've had in my 30-episode career as a podcaster. What a funny guy. I feel like we match on many levels, and he's a Beavis and Butthead collector. So eventually, obviously, I had to get in contact with this guy. And he's also has a great musical taste. Hence, War of Art, American Head Charge. So we talk about his harsh noise, we talk about Beavis and Butthead, and we talk about a lot of funny shit. So eat some nachos and enjoy this episode of the Subway Rat Podcast. Sean, welcome. It's great to meet you. I'm so happy you already took a couple of hits off your bong. Thank you so much for taking the day off work. That's very nice of you.
Oh, of course, buddy.
And you were just telling me you're moving out of your place. What's going on?
Oh, just a matter of going back to New York. I've been down in Georgia for 9 months working for the Cricket Gallery, and just a matter of circumstance. My dad passed away a few months ago.
Very sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's all good. So now I'll live like he was kind of a dick. But now I live like 5 miles from my mom. And, just a little more comfort in that. And I'm not quitting the job. I'm going to be working remote for them back in New York. So it's just a matter of, life does that thing sometimes where it ends and then like changes your life. No.
Well, I am once again, I feel like I need to tell you again, sorry about your dad's passing. Sorry he was a dick as well. But
tell me about it. Why do you think I made my noise project? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, you're getting ahead of my questions. That's amazing.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'll take a sip of it.
Ooh, Fago, delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in Georgia now. You're working. You're gonna still be working at Cricket. What's it called?
The Cricket Gallery, which they've
Gallery.
been around since 1987, just like me. I was born in 87. And we deal animation art from the Viacom properties in the 90s. So we have MTV. I mean, the reason I obviously got the job was because Beavis and Butthead. We have Beavis Butt Animation Cells. So that's amazing to be able to
Wow.
make money off that. Go through all these. I lose as much money as I make money because I'll find something I want, and then I end up like trading a paycheck for it. We also have Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Eon Flux, which I probably always pronounce wrong, but I don't know if you recall that.
I think that's right. Yeah, definitely. Eon Flux.
Yeah,
it had this sort of like, it wasn't quite, but a bit of a like manga animation to it, but not quite.
Yeah, it was. I'm probably a scholar in Western animation, but like as far as Eon Flux goes, it's almost like Western anime. Would that make sense? But also a very early indication of it. But unlike anime, people were drawn originally. I compare anime to South Park, where it's like they have one model and then they just like put a hat or hair on it.
Yeah.
I hate anime. We don't need to go into that.
Yeah, likewise. never my cup of tea. But
we just lost 10 people right now who we wouldn't want watching otherwise.
Exactly. Dude, so let me give a quick introduction on you. Sean Beard. I know you because, to my knowledge, you must be the greatest Beavis and Butthead collector out there. I don't know.
The world's largest collection.
Okay,
not
amazing.
Many are close to even competing by any means. So yeah, I get. I'm the guy who likes that show. No.
And apart from that, you used to have or I believe it's resurrected the Waves Crashing Piano Chords, which was your electronic harsh noise project.
Yes, I've been doing that since 2005. Yeah.
Amazing. We're going to get into all of this. But before we get into this, I'm going to ask you the best question in the world, which is, cool. Sean, do you prefer sweet or salty food?
Man, that's a tough one. Probably sweet. I don't know. What would you consider most stuff at the Chinese buffet is sweet or salty?
I'd say, dude, this is an answer I get a lot, which is it's kind of a combination of both. The Chinese buffet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've had. I love the way you say buffet.
Buffet. Buffet.
That's well. Remember when they made those M&Ms that had pretzels in them?
Ooh, I do remember, but I don't recall ever trying them. Were they amazing?
Okay. I did not like that. That was just like putting salt on my sweet. So I guess I don't like mixing my sweets and my salts too hard. So, but I've never been the type of person who just pours salt on my food either. So I'm probably sweets, dude. Like I could go ham on some Gushers right now.
Ooh, okay. So right now you're in Georgia, even though you're moving back to New York, correct?
Yeah, Western New York, near like Buffalo area, really close to Canada.
Okay, so say we were hanging out right now and we were gonna die tonight. Where would we go pick up some food?
Oh man, well, probably go to a gas station, get some nachos, some fruit Gushers, some big gulps, and and then maybe like we'll meet some chicks out front. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like a good delicacy.
Okay, and we would definitely eat it just on the floor, correct?
Yeah, just out front. Maybe we get some Fagos, go kick them behind the store or something. It'd be a good time.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That we should. I mean, I'm quite the date, as you can tell.
Have you ever had Fago out of a wine glass?
Yes.
Who was it? Who was the lucky lady, or were you alone?
This is kind of I'm not gonna front. I probably just did that to impress myself. Like, we had a hard day, It's like, we'll go fancy with the Fago tonight. Pour a little champagne or a little wine glass or whatever, and just keep it luxurious,
So you were successful. You did impress yourself.
Absolutely. The fact that I went through with that joke, I mean, it only really came full force right now because I'm telling you. So
amazing.
I'm a very committed to a joke type of guy.
Amazing. This podcast is going to go great then. Thank you in advance. Okay, so next, icebreaker. So sweet and savory food is a good icebreaker, but I prepared your own special icebreaker, which is a lightning round of horror movies.
Cool.
Okay, so Sleepaway Camp. So, Sean, Sleepaway Camp or Phantasm?
Oh boy, that is fucked up. That is a mean question, dude. Because I love summer camp slashers, especially from that era, I'm gonna pick Sleepaway Camp. But I mean, Phantasm is. I know Phantasm's the better movie. Let me put it that way. But I picked Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your favorite Sleepaway Camp the original?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not to say I don't like the two after, or even the one that came out a few years ago with the fat kid telling everyone their ass stinks. That was pretty funny. But 2 and 3 are almost like total popcorn slashers. You know what I mean? Just like
Totally.
turn your brain off. But the first one, God, that's got to be one of the best like original slashers ever, as far as the twist and the cinematography and all that crap. And it's really like homoerotic for like no reason. I love that shit.
Yeah, for no reason. Exactly. For no reason.
Yeah,
that's the best reason.
All the guys are sexier than the girls in Sleepaway Camp. You ever think about that? You know, it's just like,
I did not, but that made me like the movie even more. Dude, and about Phantasm, don't you feel like Phantasm could be if Rush put out like a horror album cover? Don't you think it would be Phantasm?
Like the cover art?
Exactly, the cover art.
Yeah, it's better. I think you're very right about that.
No, but I mean the whole aura of the movie feels like an album cover.
Maybe. I don't know. That's never entered my mind so much. I mean, I don't hear the music in Phantasm and instantly think of Rush. I usually like see dog crap on the ground and think of Rush. I don't know. Phantasm's like one of those masterpieces. My buddy Rob showed it to me when we were teenagers and couldn't believe I hadn't seen it. And then he told me there were sequels, and I refused to see them until maybe 2 years ago, because I knew if there were sequels that it would tarnish my idea of what the ending was, because I just viewed the movie as a coping mechanism in the kid's mind for death. But of course, if there's sequels, it's obviously not going to go that route. And it didn't, but I will say I like the sequels. They were very good. They were very fun.
I did enjoy the sequels. I have not watched the last one, but I enjoyed all of them.
That's the one that's like kind of recent, right? I mean, obviously Grimm is dead now and everything, but it's like less than 10 years old or something, I want to say. That was not a movie that you would enjoy watching if you didn't just watch the first 3 or whatever it would be. That's for sure. It's totally made to round up. But yeah, the first one is a standalone film. I always kind of say this about Saw too. Like if Saw never had sequels, we would all be like, man, Saw, that was a great movie. But like the sequels like just turn it into a formulaic joke. And now it's like hard for any of us to think of the first movie without just being like, that got overdone. But like, what a great ending that movie had, you know? Yeah,
dude. I totally stand by the first Saw, the first Scream.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sleepaway Camp. This lightning round is not going lightning at all, but let's continue.
All right,
so but that's my fault. Pumpkinhead or Ghoulies?
Oh, fuck you, man. Pumpkinhead, because in my opinion, the only good Ghoulies is Ghoulies 2. Ooh. But if we're gonna do Pumpkinhead versus Ghoulies 2, I'm gonna pick Ghoulies 2. Ghoulies 2 taking place at a carnival and all that shit. And when the fucking puppets high five, every time they high five, I'm just like, yeah. So,
dude,
but Pumpkinhead makes me cry that first 10 minutes. Like that's really like a monster movie that has gotten tears out of me when I think about it. When the little boy dies, it's really, really well done. Yeah. I'm also kind of a wuss.
I can totally see that. I don't know if I cried, but I can see that happening. The other day with my girlfriend, I was like, how funny would it be if my favorite movie ever was Ghoulies 3? I was like, I'm going to lie about that for the next like 10 years. My favorite movie is Ghoulies Go to College.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would not believe you. I feel it's such a devil's advocate response. Or even picking 4, because 4 is almost, it's like not candid almost, right? I mean, the fucking Ghoulies aren't in it.
I have not seen it, but I love the whole I actually, my favorite Ghoulies is Ghoulies 3. Just I like the whole.
Well, you know what? I believe you.
But don't you? I don't know. Just the whole Porky's vibe. I have a sweet spot for that kind of shit.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're right. It definitely is a one of a kind in the sense where they made a college like Porky's type sex joke movie, but they made it with little rubber monsters, and those are the types of movies that I'm obsessed with. So I guess I'd put Ghoulies 3 in that category. It kind of stands on its own, doesn't it? It doesn't care if you like it either. So props to Ghoulies 3. It really didn't care if you liked it. Yeah.
Okay. So it's my favorite movie for the next 10 years. So here's one that's gonna fuck you up. Critters or Child's Play?
You know me.
Yep.
Child's Play is a better movie. Man, I don't know. I love Critters so damn much, but I love Critters 2 more. But I love the first Critters, man. But Critters 2 is just like, man, that's fun. Just like Child's Play 2 is like just so goddamn fun. So, but we got the question was that Child's Play. I think Child's Play. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Child's Play too.
Yeah, it'll stand the test of time, but obviously it will over Critters. It already has. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So next one, Monkey Shines or Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yeah, I love you. I didn't see Monkey Shines as a kid, but that cover art is like one of my top 5 cover arts. And I remember thinking it was going to be about the little, what is that little monkey toy from back in the day, killing people.
Right.
And then when I ended up finding it as an adult and watching it and realizing it's just about like a quadriplegic who gets a helper monkey, I wasn't disappointed because it's so fucking good. That movie kicks ass. Like when he takes out the monkey at the end, he does it, he like bites it to death. That kicks ass. But the answer is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, okay. Did you ever watch that Malcolm in the Middle episode that's a tribute to Monkey Shines?
Oh my God. Well, but you're making me kind of realize it now because I probably saw that episode before I saw Monkey Shines. But yeah. I want to say there's almost kind of a no. Homer gets a helper monkey, but it's probably not an homage to Monkey Shines, is it?
We'd like to think so, though.
Yeah,
let's pretend it is.
Yeah, that'd be.
But I do definitely. Yeah, you should dig up that Malcolm in the Middle episode because it's definitely an homage.
I've been wanting to go back to Malcolm in the Middle because I remember it being really good. And
it ages really well. It ages really well.
Does it? I remember at the time because they always give like Roseanne and Simpsons and credit for like picturing what a dysfunctional family is like, and as it's deserved. But I thought in hindsight, Malcolm in the Middle kind of captured the way siblings are very cruel to each other and loving in a way. And
for sure.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it didn't seem like it always ended on like the most positive note. Simpsons always kind of did.
Malcolm in the Middle, I think you're really going to enjoy revisiting it because it's one of those things you can. I think I've enjoyed it more as an adult. So for sure.
I probably will too. I have a feeling I will as well. Yeah.
Next one, Deadly Spawn or Nightbreed?
Deadly Spawn. Return of the Alien, Deadly Spawn. Yeah, all day. I really, really love that movie. I think the only ones it would have lost to are the other movies you brought up so far. So, I think like Corey Taylor wanted to like base his mask off Nightbreed or something. I remember reading in an article once. That's true.
I did read that recently on his. This is great. This because this is a perfect segue to talk about nu metal, which hopefully we'll get into.
Hell yeah.
But okay, so one last question, not a horror movie, but Big Money Hustlers or Big Money Rustlers?
Whichever one has the fucking I'm in an ape suit, that means I don't give a fuck line, because that's
the first one, Big Money Hustlers.
Yeah, it means I don't give a fuck. Like,
I forgot about that scene. I'm in an ape suit. That means I don't give a fuck.
I think he starts shooting. The first time I heard that, there's like some lines that are so stupid that they resonate with you on an emotional level. And you're just like, yes, you couldn't have said anything else better right there. That means I don't give a fuck.
Dude, thank you so much, dude. I totally forgot about that line because I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I'm in an ape suit. That means I don't give a fuck.
That's so good. I have
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about your impressive Beavis and Butthead collection. Obviously, like most collections, I'm a big collector with horror movies and vinyl, but like most collections, I feel like it happens organically. Like you don't really think about it. So I'm sure you've talked about this a lot, but I wanted, at what point were you like, wow, this is a collection?
I think I always said I had a collection growing up because I kept all the stuff from when I was a kid, but it's probably less than 20 items, and then around 2013, when I did my record label there, that was all 8-track cartridges, and like that was actually making me some serious cash. And I bought like the 3 things that I never thought I could own, which was like all 28 volumes of the VHS tapes that were like, the only way to compile those is to get the ones from the UK, to get the ones from Australia. And then of course the 11 we got in America. And I remember I dropped stupid money on that. But at the time, 2 of those, no one even knew if they really existed or not. So it was like, whoa, someone actually has these. So I went and got those. And I think then I bought like the carnival mirror that I had as a kid that I lost. And I don't know. I think it kind of was, I don't remember when I had the thought of like, let's just be a completist. Because at first there were things I wouldn't buy because I was like, oh, those are stale. The sculpts are bad. And then when it got to the point where I was just getting everything, I'd get those types of items in. And once you have everything, the bad shit looks good amongst the good shit because it's all matching. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it got to the point where I was getting the real gems, like the one-of-a-kind gems, the original artwork for this and that and this, and it just became very apparent. It was because I've been researching it since I was a kid. As soon as like we could get on the internet, the early 2000s type deal, and you had eBay, it was always South Park 97 and Beavis. So I know I had in my head like everything that existed. I've known what was out there for decades now, apparently. And yeah, so and I think it was around 2016 where it was just like very obvious that no one would be able to have more stuff than me because I have all these one-of-a-kind gems. For example, the artwork that was used for the first album that Mike Judge, hand painted. I got that from the owner of Geffen Records.
Wow.
So yeah, like you said, kind of a natural, but also I've been obsessed with it since I was 5. So it's just it was never much of a thought. I've been very passionate about this show my whole life, kind of oddly, but it's obviously.
Dude, how did you stumble upon the owner of Geffen Records, and how were you able to persuade him into?
It's kind of crazy. It got put up on eBay, and I was very, I was like doing mass comparisons and everything, and I was like, my God, it's real, because I know there's certain things you can't fake, and the lines in Butthead's hair especially, they're very random. Even if you were to like trace them, you would be able to see a little bit of difference, so I hit up the guy, and then I ended up getting a call from, his name is Tony Berg, his like secretary. And I remember making a joke like, he has a secretary, and she's like, well, that's kind of how it works in the industry. And I'm like, industry, and then I get him on the phone, and we do like a webcam thing. It was one of the first times I did what we're doing right now. And he saw the Beavis collection behind me and was just pretty much like, well, it's obviously going to the right home. I think, dude, the guy gave it to me. It's one of the cheapest items in my collection. Isn't that fucking insane? Because he just wanted it to go to the right person. And I knew that he was legit because he had like gold records of Weezer behind him on the wall and stuff like that, So yeah, just I have a lot of things happen like that. There's kind of like 2 spectrums to it. Someone will have something I need, and they'll find out I have the world's largest collection, and they'll be like, well, it must be worth $5,000. Or you'll have the dude that's like, oh, I'm glad it's going to go to you, and you'll preserve it. And then they'll give you like a sweet price. And sometimes I'll give those dudes a little bit more money just because they did the fucking right thing. Because I've been on that other side where someone like hold that price over your head for those big blow up bot bags I got, which are like as tall as me. I had a guy hold that over my head for 2 years because the price was just ridiculous. And I finally, after my dad passed, I did some retail therapy and just kind of fucking said, fuck it. But the guy got an astronomical amount from me that no one else would have ever paid. No one. And he was like leasing them out to people, taking them to conventions. It's like, no, someone's going to ruin them. You son of a bitch. It's pretty much like, yeah, you can have this, but I'm going to fuck it up slowly until you buy it. He was, man, that guy was smart. Remember like 20 years ago where that guy made a GeoCities page about a cute rabbit and how he found it and took care of it. And then at the end, he pretty much said he was going to kill it if people didn't send him money.
That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I feel like that Wang guy should do a video about this or something.
Dude.
Yes. You remember that?
I do remember that. But something that really caught my, sorry, I don't want to interrupt your story, but is retail therapy something you came up with? Because I love that combination of words.
My boss totally said that to me, and she justified me spending so much money. I was like telling someone they have depression, and they're just like, I have depression. Not going to work on it now because I've been told what I have. And I was like, retail therapy, it's all justified. It's all, I was like,
dude, that's great. Is that a possible future tattoo? Retail therapy?
No, I need to stop with this retail therapy.
Okay, then I might rob that from you.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty happy now.
Okay, great, dude. So talking about sorry, are we done talking about GeoCities? Or do you want to talk about GeoCities?
You can go ham on GeoCities if you'd like.
Did you ever have a GeoCities?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
One thing that I've probably never told too many people, because it sounds made up, I owned southparkstudios.com when I was 14 to 50. It was a fan site. Comedy Central bought the domain from me when I was a kid. They gave me $400.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
What did you do with that $400?
What did I do with that $400?
Yeah.
Oh, God. South Park toys. I bought some South Park toys. Well, it's positive. Yeah.
Good investment. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm glad. I'm sure that Geffen piece is one of your holy grails. Can you mention any other holy grail that you have?
God, man. I mean, I don't know if you've seen. Well, you can see behind me all the VHS tapes that are just, from every version from every country and stuff. That's like a holy grail to me. But there's so many things, dude. I almost wouldn't even put that piece in a holy grail category because I try not to value too many things over the other things.
Right.
But some of the production art that I have, Tom Warburton, who made Codename Kids Next Door, he actually was part of the animation team for the first 25 episodes of Beavis and Butthead, where they did like the colored pencil backgrounds and it was digital animation. And just a few months ago, he sent me some of the production drawings and a storyboard from one of the first music videos, which is just insane that still exists, let alone that I have it. I probably hold those pretty fucking high, honestly, because to me, the history of Beavis and Butthead is very important. And those really early episodes, which we call the crude era, is when they were huffing the paint thinner and being mean to animals and playing with fire. And it was taboo by then and today's standards. And it's not what the show became at all. But I think to the diehard fans, it's interesting to almost have two versions of your favorite thing.
That's cool. Is that what they call it? The crude era? Or is that what you call it?
That's what I called it for years. And now I see people I don't know saying it. So go me.
Okay, go you. I'm going to steal that. That's the perfect adjective, crude era. I like that.
Yeah. I would say the Simpsons had its crude era,
For sure. And what about what's on your bucket list, like for holy grails that's still out there that you really need?
Only 2 items at this point, man. Maybe 3. I would love a prop from the Celebrity Deathmatch episode, and those do exist. I've seen 3 of them, but I just can't afford it, and they end up getting passed around to people who can. The movie prop community is people who can afford to get into the hobby more than people who are just trying to get what they want. And so things like that get into people's hands and they trade them and whatnot, and that fucking freaks me out because those are made of like a sturdy clay, but they are clay. And then the arcade machine that I think only 9 or 12 were made of. It's a prototype, which I'm actually taking a trip in March to Chicago, Illinois to finally play it. There's an arcade there called Galloping Ghost Arcade, and they have pretty much the only working one that people can go, play. So I don't think I'll ever probably get my hands on one of those. Right. But the Celebrity Deathmatch prop, hopefully someday.
Dude, that's I was not aware of the arcade game. That's
check
awesome.
It out, dude. Look it up online. It's like like the Simpsons beat 'em up. It's one of those beat 'em up type games. Nice. And I talked to the guy who was a part of making it years ago, but it was years before I even started my Instagram for the collection, and I didn't document this interview. I mean, I was just kind of asking them questions, but I remember specifically him saying the last thing we did was add in Cornholio because they were working on it from like 93 to 95. And then the Cornholio thing came about. So they added that in, and then it just ended up being like a canceled thing. And I guess MTV had a contest to win them in 96. That could be rumor for all I know. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So that's very few between 9 and 12. But let me know how that road trip to Chicago goes.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll get some pictures. I'm getting a good guy doll soon, and I'm gonna go spot out the original locations to the first Child's Play movie there, because that's where that was filmed. You know, where Aunt Maggie's pushed out of and shit. So that'll be fresh.
That's right. Also, Henry Portrait of the Serial Killer is Chicago, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
I should go under just that little not subway. It's the little tunnel there where they shoot the guy randomly. I'm sure if anything exists, it's still that tunnel. Yeah,
that's right, dude. That tunnel, good. Yeah. Okay, okay, so I'm guessing you definitely dig Henry as per your reference. I mean,
it's a hard watch.
It's definitely okay.
Yeah,
because I'm super excited because Arrow Video just announced like 2 days ago, like their super deluxe edition of like of the Blu-ray. So,
what will that really include? I'd be afraid to see more of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Just a bunch of featurettes, making ofs, interviews, like.
Interesting. Well, the scene that I think gets to all of us the most is the family, where they break into the family's house and are recording that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's incredibly real feeling. Might be interesting to see the making of that, just so you can take yourself out of it, but also it could possibly ruin your experience too.
Because there's like a neck twist in that scene that seems awfully real.
Oh my God! Oh, and then when they're watching it back in their living room afterwards, it's funny. There's certain parts of that movie, like the tunnel scene. I mean, it's messed up, but it doesn't get to me. You know, but that's one of those hard watches. I remember like 15 years ago, asking Jeeves or whatever, the most disturbing films of all time. And that was definitely on the list with all the Plague Cannibal Holocaust, Salo, 120 Days of Saddam. And
for sure.
The types of movies you only watch again because you have to make your friend watch it now.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That Henry scene where they're watching themselves kill that family, that's supposed to make the audience feel like, and then you watch them watching it, so you're supposed to feel like them. That's the whole, apparently that's one of the points.
I mean, it does kind of work in a sense. I'll always kind of credit Clockwork Orange, where the music's happy when he's doing terrible things, but when terrible things are happening to him is when you get that dark mode synth and stuff. And I saw that movie at 9 years old, and wow. It's hard to walk away from that movie and not kind of like him for some reason, because the movie wants you to. I don't know if Henry, Henry, you do feel a little sympathy for him, not Otis. I would have said there's almost nothing to sympathize with that guy for some reason, but maybe it's just because Henry is almost a blank canvas in his mannerisms that you can project sympathy on him or something.
I can see that. I think so. There's just something likable about him, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I had a guy years ago say that he hates the Devil's Rejects because it's trying to make following the bad guys fun. And I'm like, oh man, that's like exactly why I like Devil's Rejects. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable, but I hold that above House of a Thousand Corpses. It's just very realistic. House of a Thousand Corpses last 20 minutes just like goes Wes Craven on you. It's just like, fuck it, I got bored. I'm doing what I want.
That whole scene in Devil's Rejects where they're just eating ice cream. That's what you're supposed to feel that. Yeah.
Totally, man. You feel like you're hanging out with, and I would say Chucky is very guilty of this too. By the second movie, you're paling around. Bride of Chucky especially. You just feel like you're paling around with the bad guys, man.
For sure.
And it almost gets you in the mindset of why someone like Tiffany would fall in love with someone like Chucky. I mean, doesn't she even say you still know how to show a girl a good time? Oh man, that's my favorite romantic comedy of all time, by the way. Bride of Chucky, so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one, dude. Do you ever get this? I just came to the realization that I always show off when I watch something in the movie theater. Like when someone's mentioning a movie, I'm like, I watched that in the movie theater. Do you do that?
Yeah, totally. Oh hell yeah! Especially if I saw it at the drive-in.
Oh wow!
Like, okay. I grew up like 2 miles from a drive-in, so there's so many movies that I saw at the drive-in. It's always like, so I saw the South Park movie at the drive-in. It's fucking one of the greatest memories of my childhood, dude. And
exactly,
there was like a car parked next to me of like these older kids, and they painted the 4 boys on the hood of their car. It was probably done really shitty, but my memory was that it was really good. Just like hung out with these dudes and were singing the songs and shit. Hell yeah!
That's so cool. That's so cool. You were able to live the drive-in experience at such an early age.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm very obsessed with the drive-in. That drive-in is still there too. So I'm in some drive-in groups, and a lot of the older dudes will say that's like the champagne of drive-ins because we still have the speakers on the poles. We still do the 50s car nights, and it's got, the entrance sign is like a painted ET pointing, go this way or go this way. Dude. So, hell yeah, dude. Or like Indiana Jones. And when you're leaving, because it's dark, they have Darth Vader and his eyes are glowing so that you can see the way. It's fucking sweet.
Oh my god, that's beautiful, dude. And did they have nachos?
Oh, of course, man. Sometimes you go a little fancy, you get jalapenos on them.
Fancy. Yeah. Okay, so back to Beavis and Butthead. What's the best or your favorite Beavis and Butthead bootleg that you own?
Bootleg? Mm-hmm. Are you talking like a tape or just a bootleg?
No, it can be a t-shirt, it can be a toy, it can be a tape.
I love all the bootleg shirts that were like carnival bootlegs from the early 90s of them killing Barney the dinosaur, because that is such a time capsule of more of a time capsule of Barney, because there was this era where parents fucking hated Barney. It was like making them hate their kids almost, and they'd go to the fair and they'd win a shirt of Beavis and Butthead setting Barney on fire, and they'd be like, I'm gonna wear it in front of my kid. So probably those are just it's fucking hilarious.
You own a couple of those?
Yeah, and some of them are like, remember that they'd have the dude that would have the he'd be like air painting them, airbrushing.
In
front of you. Yeah, one of them is that, and it's them like with bats, and they're I think it says Barney baseball or something, instead of frog baseball. Awesome. It wasn't that clever, but.
Do you have any of those Jamaican Beavis and Butthead shirts? Have you seen those?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I have like 2 of them. I have one that's like Butthead is Bob Marley. It says Butt Marley, and he's like headbanging. And then there's just the one where they just both have dreadlocks and are black. I think it might say "Welcome to Jamaica" or something.
Yeah, but the one I have, which was obviously owned by a friend, and I hassled him into giving it to me. It says, "No problem, Mon."
Yes.
Yeah, that one. No problem, Mon. And then they're just they're black. They're on the beach, and there's like a crab with like a soul patch. It's hilarious, dude.
Oh, really? I don't think I
Yeah.
do. He'll send me a picture of that.
I'll
That's
send you a
hilarious.
picture. I'll send you a picture.
I almost have a feeling it was probably made by the same guy who made the other two shirts I have. They all look similarly drawn, like with a marker or some shit, you know?
Okay.
You know, they traced one of the real shirts. And
Right. No, this one is definitely a silk screen, but I a poor one, but yeah. Okay, so what's your it's not a Beavis and Butthead question, but it's a Mike Judge question. Have you ever met Mike Judge?
No, but he follows my Instagram and we've talked back and forth a few times. He's
awesome,
really fucking really nice to me. In fact, when my Instagram got shut down for a minute, he was one of the people that you know, reported it and all that stuff. So yeah,
he's a sweetheart.
He is a fucking sweetheart. He is. He always says thanks for being a super fan, as if he hasn't said it before. You know, I could tell like he appreciates seeing a room full of merchandise that he probably made no money off
of. Yeah, I heard about that on Howard Stern. Some interview.
I think he does now. That was a pretty his contractor Subhead was to do the movie, he would get half the rights, and then that's when like the logo changed. And then the early 2000s when he did the Mike Judge collection DVDs, that was like he got more rights because there was this History of Beavis and Butthead DVD that got put out, and he had it pulled from shelves that day, which makes it valuable. And it has a lot of the Crude era episodes on it, but not even the good ones, just like the real throwaway ones. And then he pretty much finally had say and was like, no, I'm putting it out this way. And I appreciate, a lot of people complain that they don't have the music videos and that they're edited and stuff, but I completely get where he's coming from. If we were to release Beavis and Butthead to the world the way that it aired, with the episodes being intersected with the music videos, it's not going to be as timeless for every generation now, especially with kids who don't remember music video television, you know?
That makes sense.
So I'm glad that he got the right. Well, he should have the rights in general, but I'm glad that he got the rights. And unlike some creators who are just like, oh, I have the rights, I can make more money now, he fucking cares about them being preserved correctly. He really cares about them. That's so admirable.
That's super interesting what you said. Is that why they changed the logo? That's when the rights changed?
Yeah, I would say around 2005 is when the logo was permanently changed. 2005, 2006. I think the last thing with the original logo on it was the NECA head knocker figures. And of course, I don't like the new logo. It's just kind of looks nice. I love the old hand-drawn comic book logo and stuff, but it does separate the eras in a sense. And if it's the old logo, it goes for $300 more on a t-shirt for some reason on eBay. So,
right.
So I think most people agree.
So talking about Mike Judge, what's your favorite film, which is not Do America? It doesn't have to be film or TV show, Mike Judge related.
Extract, 100%.
I haven't seen that, dude.
Oh boy, please do. I'm telling you, it seems like it is the one where most people say I haven't seen that, but it even has an introduction by Beavis and Butthead in the beginning, which is sweet. But it's there's almost no point in even telling you the plot. Like,
wait, I have seen it. It's a live action film. It's not even that old.
It's a vanilla extract factory.
That's right. I have seen that. That's right.
For his injury and Mila Kunis.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
That one to me. Because Idiocracy is really fucking good, but it's really, really funny. And I think Extract is a little more dry. And King of the Hill falls into that too. It's not too funny, but then once you're in on the joke, it's fucking hilarious. Idiocracy, everyone's going to find funny, I suppose. It's joke after joke after joke, and some of them don't hit, some do. Extract, of course, Office Space is the true masterpiece if we're going to be honest here. But I'll pick Extract and Do America. What can I say about Do America?
But that's right. Sorry, in theaters. I did it, dude. But did you see Extract in theaters?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen any of his other films in theaters, I don't believe. I've seen most of Matt and Trey's. No, I can't even say that. I saw Team America in theaters. But yeah, no Mike Judge films in theaters besides Do America, which I think I only did see once. Of course, I was 9, you know. And,
who was taking you? Your mom or your dad?
Actually, I have a lot of family in Michigan, so we'd like always be traveling. But back when you could go through Canada and it was 5 hours, and my uncle took me, and I remember it was us and this old couple up to the corner of us, and I maybe I just remember it this way, but they reminded me of the old couple in the movie that keeps reoccurring. You know, and cool. They found it very funny, and I remember leaving and my uncle being like, "I should not have taken you to see that movie," because he was all on his high horse and stuff. And then was it 2 years later, 3 years later, the South Park movie comes out, and same scenario, was in Michigan, and my uncle took me. And I remember leaving and him being like going back, he's like, "Oh, I really should have taken you to see that movie." And then I just started crying because I thought Kenny dying in the movie actually symbolized that he was out of the show.
Lucky you, that was not the case.
Oh, thank God. But people don't remember this. They do tease it. Like the 3 episodes that aired after that movie was the lightning shower, or no, not lightning sheet. Was it? I don't know. It's like the one where Cartman has the babysitter and it's Shelly, and then Stan. It's kind of like the first Butters episode where the meteor shower trilogy, and then in the 3rd episode it's about Kenny and Kyle. So like if you were on my level of diehard fandom, there were 2 episodes where Kenny wasn't there, and you were like, "Oh my God, I was right. He's gone." But
I vaguely recall that. So, rewinding a bit, you've cried during Pumpkinhead and you've cried during South Park.
I cry every time at the South Park movie. I have never not cried. I cried. I didn't cry that much when my dad died. No, I'm kidding.
I'm loving the dead dad jokes. It's like 3 so far.
What's he gonna do?
4.
Hold on, you want to meet him?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I nailed him back to me with some weed. He would have loved that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
With weed? Is that what he used to say?
He called me Bubs. He'd be like, "Oh, Bub, put as much work into his schoolwork as he did that Beavis and Butthead, he'd be a straight A student." There's a Bruce quote for you.
That's his name, Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was his name?
What's his name? You're the second guest on my podcast that makes dead dad jokes.
Well, I did it before he died, to be fair.
Okay, this caught me off guard. So Beavis and Butthead aside, films aside, dead Bruce aside, can we talk about let's talk about music. Okay, I want to know about your musical journey, because I believe it's started with nu metal and it ended up with noise electronics.
How do you know so much about me, dude?
Because I've been looking. I actually just added you on Facebook. That was me.
I added you. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Like 30 minutes ago. So I have a couple of cool questions. I wanted to dig deep. So I saw that picture with you with Chimera from Mark Hunter.
Oh my God, Mark from Chimera, dude. Yeah, let's.
I have a picture. I have a picture with Mark Hunter as well. I'm not wearing. Yeah, dude. I'm not wearing a mushroom head hoodie though.
And the Sean from Boy Meets World part, I was looking cool.
Dude, I was talking about this with my friend. I will always stand up for that haircut. Like, I still think guys that have that haircut are hot. Like,
I don't. It makes them look like they like cup their farts and sniff them. It's just like that guy.
But I'm guessing It also depends. Like if you have a loser face, yeah, but if you're really hot, you know,
like Sean from Boy Meets World, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or Edward Furlong in Terminator 2, you know? He can totally pull off
you know what, dude? Yeah, he did pull that off pretty fucking sweet. I don't see anyone walking around pulling it off though. It's like you had to be on TV.
No, what's the killer in Scream?
Nah, you know, that's not my style, I guess.
Okay.
He kind of had it greasy, kind of looked like he kind of struck me more as like a 50 Greasers with that part. It wasn't looking too 90s. 90s,
Okay.
It was always like dry and poofed out. You parted your bowl cut. Let's fucking be honest here.
Okay, you parted your bowl cut. Okay. Have you cried with any movies that have bowl cuts in it?
Let me think, dude. I can't think of any movies with bowl. Does Angus count? Probably like Heavyweights, you know? I probably had a kid with that in it. Probably made me cry, you know?
What about Home Improvement?
Oh God. Now there's a good example of someone who was not pulling that shit off. But that brings us back to nu metal. Because remember when the fatter son had a nu metal phase? He came in all like goth out, fucking had his head spiked.
Oh, that's
it was
right,
like dude. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I thought you meant the kid from The Sopranos.
No, but I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
I think he had a Chimera poster in the back. But I've never actually seen Sopranos. Son of a bitch, dude. This is the
And
best
neither have
podcast.
I. There's like, I've never seen it either, but there's like websites where or like an Instagram account where they just post like pictures of that kid with nu metal shirts and stuff like that.
So the shirts are probably valuable as shit now.
Yeah. Okay. So
Who's in the Sopranos?
I'm in a name suit. That means I don't give a fuck. Dude. Okay, so top 3 nu metal bands, Sean. Let's go
number
deep.
1.
Let's go deep. Don't say like Slipknot or Korn.
No, dude. Shit. Don't condescend me. For number 1, because I'm gonna go backwards. Number 1, American Head Charge, The War of Art, greatest nu metal album of all fucking time. There is so much noise going on in that shit. It's like you could say industrial, all that shit. No, man, it was like a thrash band that was super weak, so they just put a bunch of fucking weird noise over top of it. And that dude was like, he's like a power electronics lyricist, man. All his songs are just like, dude, you're familiar, I assume.
Dude, also in my top nu metal albums, dude. That album is, yeah, like I
almost don't want to call it nu metal because I respect it so fucking hard. Like let's face it, the greatest nu metal artist almost didn't fall into the category too hard because like I'm gonna say Mudvayne's LD50. Okay, what is more nu metal about that than it is like prog and fucking it has like the Primus bass lines going on and shit. And I mean,
yeah.
I mean, unless you think about the standout tracks for most of these albums, like Dig. But then, I mean, that Nothing to Gain song just has parts of funk going on. I mean, it's such a good album, and nothing they did afterwards, it's just so stupid. But
thank you so much for mentioning The War of Art. No one ever brings up that band or that album.
Number
like
1.
LD50 does. Like people still talk about that, and there's like reunions. But like even the history of American Head Charge is so fucked up.
Well, a lot of people don't even know. Okay, so my first like real I saw George Jones in '97, which was fucking titties. But in 2001, I saw. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. But it was supposed to be Mudvayne, but they dropped. But it was Linkin Park, Disturbed, Papa Roach, who replaced Mudvayne, which was not a good replacement, and then Slipknot. And in 2001, I'm like, I don't know, 13, 14 or some shit. My God, that was absolutely incredible. But anyways, they were supposed to come back because I saw them this was in July. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to come back, I think in September, for a tour that was ironically called the Pledge of Allegiance Tour. But then 9/11 happened. So a lot of those dates got canceled, especially the New York ones, of course. Right. But also American Head Charge was on that tour. Ironically, again, Pledge of Allegiance Tour. American Head Charge used to burn the American flag on stage, which everyone thought was cool until they became a bandwagon patriot at the end of 2001. Well, that ruined American Head Charge's career. That was really like they fell off the face of the earth. They got a second chance. That second album, I bet you and I could get into it right now, but I don't think about it.
Yeah.
No.
That even the lineup of that first album is insane. I think with the second, the two keyboard players, the guitarist with the mohawk, like.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they needed two keyboardists too. There was so much sound going on in that fucking album. It was overloaded. That album is so perfect. And even they made a video back then, which I think was for the song. Well, they did the one for almost like the chorusy song, Just So You Know. But then there was one for the best song on the album.
Yeah, track 15. Track 15, that was
with the following production, boom. And like that video,
all wrapped up,
my man.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
it's a dude abducting a girl,
dude.
And while they're like in a butcher shop, and they used to also bring pig heads on stage.
Yes.
Real ones.
Dude, that video. This is okay. Here's some trivia. They got what's his name? Michael Rooker. They got Henry. That's him. They got Henry for that video because they were such big fans of Henry Portrait for His Cereal.
I never noticed, buddy.
That was him, dude.
He is because he's kind of a jacked guy, isn't he?
Yeah, dude. They got him because this was like, because that actor had like peaks and valleys. This was a time where he wasn't doing anything, so he did that video. So
man, oh man, boy, I can't wait to watch it again now with that new fucking. That's beautiful. Thank you for that fresh knowledge, Ninja.
And that album sounds. The production of that album sounds. It's so good, dude. If you can listen to it on a good stereo system, it sounds amazing, dude.
And I just remember at that time, because I'm how old in this, but I remember all the other bands that we'll bring up had amazing drummers, double bass, crazy amounts, some blast beats in there. Yeah. They almost had an AC/DC drummer. He only had a few beats. He was real simple, but it's perfect because it gives it that little bit of like 80s thrash fucking vibe to it. And then it also made it so that all the samples and the keyboards stood out more because there wasn't like I'm not knocking their drummer, but like for what they had going on, very simple drummer to be that heavy in the early 2000s.
Dude, I never saw it that way. Now I'm just gonna revisit the album and see it with that AC/DC mindset. That simple. I can totally see that.
Now. There's a little more than AC/DC, of course, but dude. Oh,
and let's not even get into how amazing his lyrics are, dude. Like,
oh my god, he's I have a feeling he might be a bad person.
Probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That that Seamless song. Yeah. Which is just about dominating a woman. Oh my god, what is legs so spread it makes me sweat. It's my lubrication. It's just like, oh, you dirty dog. You dirty dog.
I never actually.
I wouldn't be half the lover I was if it weren't for the War of Art.
That's gonna be your pull quote from this podcast. That's great, dude.
You said pull.
Okay, so we have LD50, the War of Art. We should do a podcast on just the War of Art.
I would love it. We pretty much are. And I love it. This is the best podcast I've ever been on. I'll tell you that right now.
Excellent.
All right, so now it's like I'm gonna start getting more into the nostalgia territory. I mean, do we have to include Slipknot Self-Titled because it's obvious?
Okay, go for it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, with purity on it.
With purity, yeah.
I had it. Like that is Slipknot Self-Titled.
That was my email. That was my email, puritynight@hotmail.com. My
that's
MSN
beautiful.
Messenger. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. My first password was Tonk Pills. Slipknot spelled backwards.
Yes, dude. Okay. Did you ever get into Amen or Amen?
No, I can't even picture what they sound like, to be honest with you. That I don't know why that wasn't on my radar. No,
because I always lumped them in with American Head Charts. Like they had that the same attitude. Yeah, but they definitely had more of a punk thing going on than than the noise electronics aspect.
Okay.
Of American Heavy.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So what? Okay.
So
I almost don't even-
self-titled. Okay.
I mean, I could go on that for. I mean, Slipknot Self-Titled is they've never topped it. I saw them right before Iowa dropped, and I remember those songs were amazing live. But noticing that it was a 5-piece band playing these songs, and that is my biggest fault with Iowa. It is probably the heaviest album the general public will ever hear, but it is a 5-piece band. The DJ does not matter. The sampler does not fucking matter, and the percussionists really are on 3 songs, and it's the best songs on the album. Slipknot Self-Titled sounds like that 9-piece band, and there's something. I mean, of course, all the fucking bangers are the bangers, but to me, it's Purity, Prosthetics, Tattered and Torn. My God, the first time I heard Tattered and Torn, I had a little Walkman, but you could make it repeat a song, and I just listened to Tattered and Torn for probably 5 hours straight. I just always loved noise. And that was just the noisiest thing I had heard at that time, dude.
That's definitely the noisiest. Oh, Scissors, yes, 15-minute. And live they would extend that even longer.
Yeah, it'd be all improvised and shit. Yeah, dude. Fucking A. Like that's Slipknot.
Yeah.
They were not supposed to get this big. It's just kind of weird. We live in the polar realm where Slipknot actually became one of the biggest bands in the world. Didn't seem like that was supposed to happen back then.
Right. And the funny thing about it is like last time I saw them live was maybe 3 years ago. Like they start off their sets with like the first 5 songs off the Self-Titled, and they're like half of their set are the first 2 albums. Like
yes, they even play Eeyore, because I saw them in 2019 before the world sucked, and Eeyore, I think Eeyore was the second song that they played, and but I'll tell you what, worst crowd I've ever seen at like an extreme music thing. Like it's just I remember in 2001, it was just complete chaos. And when they did the jump the fuck up thing, people literally sat down in their seats and just stood up like this. And the guy was complaining that I was headbanging and stuff. I was just like, man, it's just, but they were still, Chris Fenn's not there anymore. I'm sorry. I loved Chris Fenn.
Sure.
If I'm saying his last name right, I'm not even sure, but
I think you are. Yeah.
I think when it comes to Slipknot, if there is one mask that will always define them, if you were to hold up one mask, it will be his. You kick him out or not, you know, or whatever happened.
I think so, because that mask did remain constant throughout the.
Absolutely, even Craig's changed. Craig's my favorite. I absolutely love. That's the reason I joined my buddy's cover band in like the year 99 or 2000. And it was a bunch of new metal covers, and my buddy was the singer, but he couldn't do the screaming, and me, I loved all that shit. So we would do like Disturbed and like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor and all these songs, but like there weren't enough screaming parts for me to be justified being in the band. So I bought an SP808 groove sampler, because that's what Craig from Slipknot and Chris from Chimera used. Wow. And it took zip discs. I didn't know that a sampler was even used for making beats. You know, there's no YouTube. I really just bought it. And then I had Joe, who I considered my dad, my friend, one of my best friend's dad. He let us play at his house. He's like, all those weird noises you hear, that's what you do with that. And so then I got into constructing noises like in my free time and putting them over these like Godsmack covers and shit. And that's how I got really into creating noise and making harsh noise and everything.
Wow. Okay. So it all started. Props to mentioning Chris Garza, because that guy, Chris Garza.
Chris Bacuza?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Did I say that? Yes. Chris Bacuza. Sorry.
Chris Bacuza, great guy. I became like friends with them. It was fucking weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that guy's electronics were really cool always.
Well, okay, I think that should go to the 4th album, even though it doesn't hold up for me. Pass Out of Existence by Chimera.
Great. Yeah. I'm definitely between the first two albums, but yeah, they're very different.
Oh, incredibly.
Yeah.
Well, they ended up like doing a tour with Slayer, and Slayer was like, you know, you guys would be good if you sounded like everybody else. So then they created Impossibility of Reason, which is a great album. If you could hear this, I remember that album was about to drop, and I would hang out with Chris because I was big on their message board. So the first time I met them, that picture you saw, they were like, oh my God, it's you. And they treated me like they were meeting because I was like early 2000s message board Sean, which I was just a fucking troll, but apparently they thought it was really funny. And so
what was your
time
username? What was your
Sean
username
Beard.
for? Okay, Sean Beard. Okay.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
I didn't have a beard yet. I grew into my last name. I've been making that joke for a long fucking time.
I prefer
but I remember
retail
going
therapy.
backstage, and Chris had an iPod, and he was like, I want you to listen to the new album. And I was like, holy shit, I get to listen to this new album. And I was like 2 songs in, and I took the headphones out, and I was like, I can't hear you on it. And he's like, and he like turned to Mark, and he was like, see, you can't hear me in the mix. And it was like, oh shit. Because he was like, he knew that I had his sampler. He kind of like gave me advice and mentored me on how to make samples and shit and all this. Like, I was young, dude. I was really fucking young. My mom was taking me to these concerts, you know?
Nice.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of trailing off here, or maybe I'm not.
No, that's good. No, because yeah, props to
Chris gave me my first beer.
Your first what?
My first beer. He gave me my first beer. I must have been like 15 or something. He gave me a beer and I drank it. Well, my friends watched because he didn't give them beers. And I took it with me. And on the drive home, I was like holding it out the window because it does that whoo, not even thinking about how I can open fucking out of beer and shit. Yeah.
There's another good piece of trivia. Good, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, what's the best nu metal shirt you ever owned? And please tell me you still own it.
Wish. I don't own any of them. I had the blue Slipknot one. It was like a started on the back. It said, "Don't ever judge me," which was probably pretty fucking edgy to be wearing in school.
Nice.
I had some good Mushroom Head shirts, man. I had a lot because my mom ended up getting into Mushroom Head, so she liked going to those with me. So we saw them like 15 times in one year and stuff.
Nice, dude.
But I don't know if I could put them on my list though, even though they're very important to me.
Okay.
Because they just don't really hold up.
Okay.
It's just like Mike Patton done bad.
Right. Mike Patton done bad. My first nu metal shirt was, I don't know if you're familiar with this one. It's Korn Life is Peachy era with like it was a green shirt. It had like the design here on the side, and it had 3 1-liters on them, 2 liters. It said 40 Oz. It was a very 90s, very cool shirt.
No, I don't remember this shirt at all. I'll have to fucking look up pictures, dude. It sounds fresh.
It's very fresh, very fresh.
I didn't get into Korn young because all the kids who wore Korn shirts had chain wallets and they kicked my ass. So I just assumed that Korn sucked. But then in '99, when South Park did that episode, which is one of the best South Park episodes
ever. It really is, dude.
Yeah, and one of the best Scooby-Doo parodies ever. Just so fucking good. I ended up getting the self-titled and liking it, but feeling like I was pretty late to the game. Because I mean, if we bring up things like Deftones, Rage, and Korn, we're almost precursor nu metaling it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Just like you said, the Crude era for Beavis and Butthead, I'd say one of my favorite bands ever is the Crude era of Korn, which is the first 2 albums.
Yeah, Life is Peachy. Yeah, I would have to agree because I'm familiar with probably the up to the album where it has the kid on the thing on the mountain. There was the last one I remember hearing. And
Follow the Leader, which is the one with the South Park episode. Oh no, South Park episode was Issues era.
Okay, I never actually listened to Issues, but I do remember when there was an artwork contest and it was on MTV.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I used to trade bootlegs back in the day. So like a lot of people would say
that's so funny. Me too, but never any I recorded myself. But when that Slipknot concert I went to, that next day on eBay, someone put up the tape. I still have that tape of the bootleg of that Slipknot show. Is that?
And this goes back to why I had my own GeoCities, which was like a tape trading bootleg website. You'd just list everything you had and you trade with other people.
Man, I wonder if you're the kid I used to rip off. No.
Probably. I don't. I live. Well, how did you rip off? How did you rip me off?
I was just kidding. That'd just be a good one.
That would be awesome. It was difficult.
Let me all your Slipknot bootlegs.
Dude, okay, so I feel okay. This is a perfect segue because we already started talking about noise and power electronics. Tell me, because that's been a big part of your life for the 10 plus years. And how's this journey been? Because I went to your Discogs page and it's fucking insane. All the 8 tracks and everything. I don't even know where to begin and end.
Man, I mean, really, because I got that sampler in 2000 and I instantly started getting into making noise. And then I ended up discovering, bands like The Locust and all the outsider grind and shit, and just really that resonating with me. Bands like Jerome's Dream, just because it was like overpeaked with feedback. You could barely hear the band. I just remember thinking that was so fresh. And I'd say the early type of noise I did was harsh ambient sounding stuff, because I was trying to make like collages, because I would make sounds on the sampler and then layer them and stuff like that. But what was the question?
I don't even think I asked you a question. I just wanted to know how it all began, which you talked about.
Oh yeah, so that led to me. I didn't like being in a new metal cover band. I always kind of wanted to be a front man, but every band around didn't want me to be a front man, and I knew I would be a good front man because I'm insane. And then around 2005, I started just getting the idea of just screaming lyrics over the noise and stuff. And I would go out to shows I wasn't on. Now I grew up like an hour from the city, so I'd take an hour trip up and crash a show that I wasn't on because no one was going to book it, and I wasn't aware that there was really a noise scene or too much like that. And then that kind of led to that being a notorious thing. I was banned from every venue from Rochester to Buffalo, which is like a 2-hour drive span, because I would just show up to anything I was on or anything that was happening and just do that. Usually only get to play like a minute. Got beat up quite a few times. Wow. And then that kind of got to the point where I stopped bringing gear because it would get broken or someone would take it, or it was just like stupid to actually put on a set with real noise instruments or whatever if you're really just trying to sabotage everyone's good time, which was more my motive than anything. Right. And around 2012, I moved to the city, and so then I could really just like walk down the street and crash a show. And eventually, I think like that year, some venue guy got a hold of me and said, I know you're banned from here, but there's this metalcore band playing tonight. They're douchebags. Will you come ruin it? And so then I started getting like gun for hire, and then videos started surfacing, and it got to the point where I pressed a vinyl record that year, and that sold out instantly. And that's when I realized that people were actually paying attention to this online. I don't think I was that aware that people were paying attention to it as well as they were. And then I started the 8-track label in 2013 because I've been obsessed with 8-tracks since I was a kid, because small town in the 90s, my grandma still had her 8-tracks, It's the first time I heard AC/DC and Meatloaf and stuff like that was on 8-track, and I still have those. But that was me just releasing like a bunch of fake projects of my own on 8-track, and then other people's noise, friends of mine, and we do some lathe cut records. And then by like 2015, I was releasing like I released a band from Indonesia who got put into the Indonesian Rolling Stone, which was insane. And I think they got about 200 copies made, which took months to do. I released a noise artist from Iraq, which was really funny because his whole theme is that he hates America. And after Trump won or whatever the fuck, like Bandcamp did an article about progressive labels, and my label got a write-up because I released an artist from Iraq. Because they like didn't actually do the research, and they're just like, how progressive. And then if you like dig into it, the whole album is like anti-America. So that was pretty funny. And yeah, I mean, through the label and then Waves getting, I always say, like, I never put more energy in my life into anything than Waves. I'll talk about it in an emasculating way sometimes, because I know that I pretty much went out and tried to make the most embarrassing noise project I could and put a target on my back and make all the other noise artists hate me. And it worked for a few years. And then everyone got in on the joke, and it became a very beloved noise project to a lot of people. I mean, I've literally had people message me telling me that they came out of the closet because my project gave the confidence, because I'm not afraid to express something that should be embarrassing to the snobby elitist scene that noise is and can be, you know, which I don't think it is as much anymore, I will say. But early 2010s, it was a lot of, there were great bands coming out like Water Torture and Full of Hell, but they were inspiring a lot of like jockey dudes to like get into noise. I remember playing a noise show in Buffalo where everyone shared the same setup because every artist was doing the exact same thing. So it was like all these dudes were coming in and they found a formula. And in my opinion, I don't think noise should be a formula. I remember, you know, you'd go to a show and you'd have one dude farting into a saxophone and you'd have another dude doing this. And it was a mishmash and a hodgepodge. And that's what kept you there to the last guy, because everyone was interesting, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know where I'm going at this point.
No, that's looking up. I was looking up videos and they did seem to go pretty violent. And you said you would get beat up sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff I did then I especially couldn't do now. But I mean, I sexually assaulted the crowd, men and women, you know. I was physically, especially when it got to the point where people were coming and paying to see it. And I just looked at it as, everyone's here because they know what they're getting into. So, I mean, if there's a guy in a wheelchair there, it's kind of like if you're an insult comic, but you don't make fun of, you know, the one guy in the crowd that's black or something. It's like, well, that's almost as rude as making fun of them, because everyone's there to get equally insulted and assaulted, correct?
So people were aware they would get assaulted at your shows?
Yeah, especially once it got to the point where I was like going to Detroit and like going around to other states and stuff, because then after 2012, it really like had the name, and then I could go out and people were coming and know what was going on. At the early shows, I wouldn't even get a chance to do anything that like grotesque, because I would get, I was showing up to a gig. I wasn't, well, you've probably seen the footage of me breaking my leg.
I have not seen that.
Oh, okay, look, that's one of the shows where I was crashing it, and it's like, I get 30 seconds in, guy pushes me off the stage, and my fucking kneecap went backwards, and I was bedridden for 6 months.
Shit, dude.
You know, yeah. So, but then once it got to the point where people were booking it, then I could actually complete a 10-minute set, and then it kind of progressed into, you know, what did I want to do with this? How does this make me feel to actually do this for 10 minutes? And that's when the show really turned into more of this, like, I look at what I did as comedy. I think it's funny and satirical, but it's also like very sexual. Like I feel very sexual, and it's kind of empowering, if you will, as like a fat dude with a beard to go up and just like feel attractive and sleazy. And so it was very cathartic. And then I was never really a bully. I'm a very nice person, and it was nice to go out and almost like a wrestler play the bad guy. And I think I liked the reaction of people disliking it more than liking it, because when it got to the point in 2016 to 2017 where, and don't get me wrong, these are some of my favorite shows ever, but I remember one show in Detroit, there's 150 people or so, and a circle pit breaks out, a wall of death breaks out. People know my lyrics, people are hurting each other. It's a dodgeball war of Fago. And it's one of the greatest memories of my entire life. It was amazing. But all those people are there because they got into it through watching the videos of controversy. And so I knew if I kept doing shows like that, and if there was at one point more footage of that than people getting upset, that it was going to defeat its purpose. And that's why I ended up retiring it in 2019. And the only reason I'm really bringing it back now is because I never did a full length album, and I wish I did. And so I've been working on a full length album. But as far as me performing again or anything, that's up in the air, because at this point, dude, the irony is in my 20s, I was very unhappy. We won't go into my childhood, but it was easy for me to go out and do that type of show. And the success of it made me very happy. And now I don't want to go out and punch a dude in the face just for a negative reaction. Like, especially it got hard towards the end where people would come up and be like, "You're my favorite noise artist. Are you going to punch me in the face tonight?" And it's like, well, I kind of don't want to, because you're a fucking sweetheart. Like, I used to go out there with the mindset of like, whether you succeed or fail tonight, they would rather see you fail. And that's what could always get me through this. Like, I'm going to go out and be a dick. But then when people are coming up to you for hours beforehand telling you that they love your shit, it got difficult to be a dick to them. So if that I probably sound loony, but I hope it makes
Not
sense.
at all. You actually explained that quite coherently. But I want to hear more about this full length. When do you think it'll be completed?
Probably the end of next year. And now with the whole vinyl thing taking like a year and a half for things to get pressed, I really don't expect it to be in people's hands till 2023. And I am taking my time on it. When I move back soon, I'm going to be able to like have a space to really record and go ham on the recording. I've got lyrics down. I've got ideas down. All of my recordings have always been just straight microphone feedback. This is going to have the incorporation of the Wasp, the EDP Wasp from the 70s. Wanted that since I was a teenager. Finally got it. Retail therapy, as we were saying. But I justified that because I was like, I'm going to make this album with it. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't sit here and tell you to expect anything too different. It's just going to be classically me saying things I shouldn't. But I'm hoping it'll be 25 to 30 minutes in length, and hopefully that won't be overkill.
Are there any clear, just so I can dig, are there any clear references or inspirations from the War of Art on any of your work I may be able to find?
I think the song "Seamless" is very inspiring lyrically and stuff. Just that dominating, I shouldn't be saying this kind of catharticism, whether you mean it or not. I have a feeling he did. I don't. But like I said, it's like playing a character, and that's really fun to me. If you might see that on the new album, because now that I actually have a synthesizer and not just feedback, you'll get to see the type of sounds that I would make if I had the ability to create sounds. And War of Art is, the sounds on that album. Could you imagine just finding like the disc with all the sounds, being able to hear them by themselves? It'd be so fucking awesome, wouldn't it? And they're very harsh sounds at times, and they're not buried in the mix. They are not afraid to let you know that shit's just there. It's amazing. Amazing.
Which I'm guessing you heard, what's his name? Chad Hanks, the mastermind behind American Hitchhikers. He passed.
Yeah. No, what? When?
He passed like 2 years ago, dude. Yeah.
Did he? Now I remember that the guitarist did.
The guitarist did like 10 years ago or something like that. But Chad Hanks, just the bass player, later he became the guitarist. He passed, dude, like 2 years ago.
Oh, no. So you're not saying the singer?
No, not the singer. Wait.
Okay. Yes, I did know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. The name's
what was the singer's name?
See, that's the thing. I think if you said
Cock,
it,
wasn't it?
What is it?
Wasn't it something Cock? I know.
I want to say so. Their story was amazing. Like, they pretty much were like junkies that met in rehab.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
They are the noise of nu metal.
For sure. So let's end on a high note. I end asking everyone. I feel like your answer is going to be pretty cool. If you need to take a minute to think about this, please recommend a horror movie that you'd like to throw out there. Horror, exploitation, whatever. Like something that's a hidden gem that like maybe a lot of people have not heard about.
Might not be a hidden gem to some of us, but Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare: A Critical Madness, hilarious movie. Borderline shot on video film, but I don't think it is shot on video, but it has that energy to it. And it's about a kid. Well, it's about an adult. He comes in, catches his wife cheating on him. It just seems like your basic Lifetime movie. And then it turns out that when he was a kid, he played Truth or Dare, and the kids dared him to cut himself with a razor. And he get through his breakdown, he keeps pretending that people are asking him to play Truth or Dare, and he'll like cut his tongue out. Or it's and it seems like it was made by a child. It's great. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. Or I've not heard about it. Is this Tim Ritter from Problem Child?
Yeah, it's free on YouTube. It's free on YouTube, so it's that category of unknown.
Wow. So, but is this Tim Ritter from Problem Child?
I don't know. I did he end up doing that?
Who's Tim Ritter? I'm trying to think who
Tim Ritter. He did a bunch of like shot on video horror movies. I think he's more known for that,
okay.
For all I know, he went on to. Oh, are you thinking of the guy from Three's Company?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I wish.
What are the ropers gonna think? No. That's John Ritter, who was in Bride of Chucky. He plays the dad cop.
The dad, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A big sitcom horror.
So do you think this movie would have been better if it involved John Ritter?
No, I think no. This movie, I wouldn't change a thing about this movie. Especially, I hope you watch it.
I will.
The end credits theme. It's funny. It's like they wrote a song that describes what just happened in the movie. and then there's like these kids singing, and at the end of it, it credits this local church chorus choir, and you know that the guy did not tell them what the fuck they were doing this for. It is great, man. You gotta check it out. It's amazing.
If it's free on YouTube, I will definitely be watching that.
Yeah, Truth or Dare: A Critical Madness.
A Critical Madness. Okay.
Excellent. A Critical Madness. So good.
And that was my episode with Sean Beard, episode 30, with the ultimate Beavis and Butthead collector. Also, the crazy-ass, awesome juggalo behind Waves Crashing Piano Chords. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please rate, like, subscribe. But best thing you can do is word of mouth. If you like this episode, just tell a friend about it. That's it. Please, thank you. Thank you, drive through. Bottom row F2, dude.